What's up, guys? Back on Muse here. We got Smallville Season 2, Episode 15, Prodigal. Prodigal. Okay, so this episode starts off in Edge City, where he meets this guy this kid named Lucas, and 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 he's like he's getting spied on for. And there's this big fire that happens. So Lex comes to save him, and he's like, "Hey, Lucas, I'm your brother Lex." So Lucas is the kid who Rachel Dunleavy left up for adoption. Lionel had her leave up for adoption, and she thought that Lucas was Clark. She thought Clark was Lucas. So yeah. So then Clark's like, "Hey, Lana, can you give me a job?" And she's like, "You want a job here?" And he's like, "Yeah." So then, so yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, and then and then Locke's like, "Hey, Lionel, this is your son, Lucas." And he's like, "Lucas." And he's like, "Yeah." So yeah, and so so like Lionel starts talking with Lucas and Lionel, where you kick Lex out of the mansion, and he's forced to, and he's like, "Hey, Clark, my father kicked me out of the mansion, so can I live with you?" And yeah, and we actually see Lex doing yard work, farm work, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, and so and so so Clark introduces Lucas to. Actually, Clark met Lucas in a when Clark introduced Lucas to Clark, and Lucas is like, what would have happened, Clark, if Lex got adopted by your parent, got adopted by Martha and Jonathan, and you got adopted by Lionel? Would the rules be different? So yeah, he's like, I don't know, and stuff. So yeah, so so yeah, so so Lex so Clark introduces Lucas to Lana, and yeah, then Lana's like, "I Lex didn't mention you," and he's like, yeah, so yeah, so so Lucas, he starts buying all this stuff, and he's like, "Hey, Dad," he's like, "What?" And so so uh, he's like throws a pool table thing at Lionel, and he's like, a blind man pours a drink, and he can't see it, but you saw it yesterday. Yeah, Lionel is not blind anymore. Lionel's not blind anymore. That means the thing that happened in episode 12, when he shot that robber, he wasn't blind then. So wait. So he's like, "Wait, you want Lucas?" And he's like, Lex is the past. He's the future. So yeah, so he goes. So he's like, "Hey, Lana, I want you to fire Clark," and she's like, "Fire him." And he's like, "Why?" Because he showed up minutes late before his shift, and she's like, "Look at the roommate agreement. Look at the agreement that me and Lex made." He's like, "Lex is history, and so is this place. You can count on it." So Clark is like, Clark's like, Lucas, you can find me, but leave Lionel alone. And he's like, it's too late, Clark. And then he's about to be shot by Dirk, one of his friends. But Clark saves him, and he just rides off. So yeah, and Lionel killed that Dirk guy. So yeah, because Clark goes to confront him, and he's not wearing the glasses. So yeah, and then later on, so Lucas asks Lex to show up at Luthor, asks Lionel to show up at Luthor Corp, and he's like, and he's hey, Dad, show him. And he's like, hey, Lex is like, come on, you're not blind, or he says something else, but he's like, and Lionel's like, because Lionel's like, put down the gun, and Lex is like, how do you know he has a gun? And he reveals that he wasn't blind. So and then Lionel's like, you're not gonna shoot Lex. And he's like, I'm not gonna shoot Lex. You are. And he's like, I'm not gonna shoot. So Clark uses his laser eyes to burn, like to heat up the gun and heat up the gun and yeah. And Lex is able to get back in the Luthor mansion, and yeah. Yeah, and Clark fires himself because gets fired so he quits town. But she can relate because she got fired the first day at the Beanery in episode 12, I think it was. Wait, no, I can't exactly remember season 1, but yeah. Basically that's how the episode ends. This episode was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was good. Lionel and Lex and Lucas, they're just they're just complicated. Like they were turning on each other. Lionel was turning Lex turned against Lionel turned Lucas turned against Lex, and yeah. In one scene, like Lionel doesn't have the glasses on, doesn't have the purple shades on, but then when he goes to the corp, he does. Like Lionel, like if you can't have, he even tried to pretend he was blind against Clark. He was like I'm like, oh, Lionel, come on, we all know you're not blind, so why pretend to be around Clark? I guess Clark didn't know, but. So, yeah, I hope you guys like, comment on the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'll see you next Smallville.